Welcome to another episode of Core Discussions. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
All right, so today we're going to do another review. We are going to be actually doing a review of this previous NBA season, as well as some predictions. Let's get ready. Gentlemen, are we ready?
Yes. Ready.
Let's just go on with overall thoughts on this season. What do we think, guys? Vitamin J will probably go to you most because I think you watch the most basketball out of all of us.
It's just one of the more interesting seasons because there's no one you can say is a clear winner.
Yeah, I will say, like, compared to most seasons where you kind of can see, like, halfway through, you're like, all right, it's really these two teams, like, the mid-2000s. You kind of just knew it was there's a while you knew it was going to be the Cavs versus the Warriors. There was really no other team.
Every year. In the 2010s, the final matches were more predictable because it was always, obviously, you could be like LeBron in the East and whoever in the West, you know?
This year, it's like the West, there's still like there's about 3-4 teams in the West that I could see coming out of it between the Lakers, Golden State, and the Suns.
I can see 4 teams in the East, too.
Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, which I like because it makes for a little bit more unpredictable playoffs. Once we get into especially round 2, it's going to be very interesting.
The West only had 2 50-win teams. Seems pretty low.
They did.
The East had 4.
Oh yeah, I mean the turnabout's definitely went to the West Coast.
Yeah.
But I think with the West is really just one of those that like was one of those times where NBA really shows that there's a difference between season and playoffs, and especially with this year, just were like a bunch of injuries. Kind of, I think, dampered what this season could have been. Because if the Lakers end up making a run to the finals, it's going to be kind of looked at as, well, the Lakers were just injured a lot, and they finally made a trade. Same with the Warriors of Andrew Wiggins being out. Curry was out for a while. Like, a lot of injuries coming at the wrong time. And then teams kind of got healthy. Hopefully, what I'm hoping is everybody's going to be healthy, and then we're going to really see the fullness of some of these teams.
Well, you're not going to get it for some teams. Like Paul George is still going to be banged up.
Yeah.
Even if he plays.
The Grizzlies are banged up.
I mean, sometimes just a war of attrition of just hopefully your injuries happen at the right.
Every team's hurt at this time.
A couple storylines we can kind of get into, especially. The first one I want to talk about is the big one. Is one of the bigger ones that I think should be getting more headways. Guys, the Nets.
Oh, what an embarrassment. I mean, I think it's safe to say that they lost the Ben Simmons trade.
Can we just put in perspective how that team was like the worst super team of all time?
They did get better when they got rid of Kyrie, though.
They did.
Amazing. And then the Mavs went from 5th out the playoffs.
You thought they would have at least made one finals appearance, at very least.
Yeah.
Heck, even a conference finals appearance, at very least. With what happened.
I will say they were very unlucky, as in Kevin Durant and James Harden were always hurt.
Yeah.
True.
And if Kevin Durant were one size smaller, they would have beaten the Bucks in that series.
Yeah, and they probably would have won championship that year.
Fine margins, man. Fine margins.
I know, it's just crazy how close he was. So close.
But it's just interesting with all the moves they made. Now at the end, the Ben Simmons. I mean, you had to get rid of Harden because Harden clearly quit.
He was gonna leave it in season anyway.
Yeah, he was not playing. He was like, "Yeah, I'm injured. I'm not playing." Like he quit, but it was kind of like that whole of like everything you did was for these guys, and it's still like I think they ended up playing. I mean, did they even play 30 games together? Like, it was something very small.
I think that it was close to something.
I think it was even less than that, if I remember.
I mean, the only kind of I will give them is at least they didn't trade for the initial of like Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They got him off free agency, so that's kind of nice of like you didn't have to make all those moves to get those players.
I mean, you want to hear a funny stat? Ben Simmons had more personal fouls than field goals made.
want to hear a little
That's
funnier
ridiculous.
stat?
You would know your funnier stat? Udonis Haslam scored more points in a game this year than Ben Simmons did.
Oh my
Get
god.
ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Yeah, he'd be for the Shanghai Sharks, as they say. The worst part, he's due like $40 million next 2 years. So it's just
No
And
one.
And you can't trade that contract because literally no one's going to take it.
Oh hell no.
Not unless you're going to offer.
For like a bevy of first, which you probably don't have.
You're gonna have to throw 5 first on top of that.
Oh yeah. When they made the trade, again, I understood they had to trade Harden. I never liked the Ben Simmons move because I was like, I just didn't see it from Ben Simmons. I felt he was at that
I mean,
point. seriously,
I saw it. I mean, I saw it if he was the player he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
If it was that good, then it made perfect sense. But he's broken.
Him
Yeah.
passing up that dunk has changed.
well, yeah, it broke him.
Yeah.
I am
You
convinced.
can't usually pick a moment that someone's career died, but in this case, you certainly can.
See, I am convinced that the basketball in the original Space Jam is real and just sapped all of his playing abilities. It's just completely sapped it. That's the only explanation.
True. But I mean, are we somewhat shocked because his mentality has never been there? Like this has been a constant thing of this guy's mentality. That is why when they traded for him, I thought it would be better than this. I didn't think he'd be like this, but I was like, yeah, I don't know if you're really if I'm trading Ben Simmons for Harden and looking like, oh, I might have won that. It's like, nah, bruh. Ben Simmons ain't that. Like his mentality is snapped. He's never shown me he's that guy of he's mentally strong enough to come back.
Oh, like I said, if he had like a Giannis mentality, he'd be so much better.
Oh, he'll be great.
Giannis, I don't care how many times I miss, how many times you foul me, I'm still attacking. You ain't gonna stop me.
Mhm.
So you may stop me once or twice, but you can't stop me every time.
True. And because I mean, remember with all the rumors of certain teams were in for him, when the Lakers were not in for him, I kind of knew there was something up. Of like, because he's represented by Clutch Sports with LeBron, and even I think LeBron was kind of like, nah, we ain't going down this rabbit hole with this guy. Nah.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So I guess that's one of the bigger stories, and at least they were able to make the moves. The next one we can go ahead. We'll probably hit on this in a little bit in one of the future podcasts from especially the Mountain. The Dallas Mavericks.
Lol.
Are any of us really surprised it didn't work?
No, I think.
No,
not at all.
What I didn't understand was why would you trade for
Kyrie
already doesn't play defense, or who doesn't play defense? Luka, you already have Luka who doesn't play defense, and then you can trade away all your best defensive players.
Mhm.
See, I think they were going with they can just outscore everyone, but it doesn't work that well all the
The
time.
Nuggets thought too when they got AI with Carmelo, and that didn't work out either. But at least they made the playoffs.
Mhm.
and you got
You gotta have some defense, got to.
So, did they make a conference final with AI and Carmelo, or did they make it
No,
before?
It was Chauncey. It was after. Yeah,
It was Chauncey, yeah, okay.
Chauncey. It was after Chauncey.
I knew Carmelo made it to one. I just couldn't remember who was there.
That was-
Yeah, the roster just didn't make sense. I mean, I thought they'd make playoffs at least.
Yeah, I mean, well, especially since they were 5th seed when they got him.
Yeah, I was like, you can't. I didn't think they would collapse that bad. I thought they would have a couple games where they looked kind of good and be like, oh, they'll make, and then we'd realize no.
9-17, right? Post Kyrie trade.
And when they went like 0-4 to start with Kyrie, I'm like, okay, this probably getting some chemistry going.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do realize it's not all. I mean, because if you look at the numbers, Kyrie played great, but it's just like it just doesn't work with him. It just never does.
I mean, granted, they did trade their 2029 first round unprotected, the 2027 second round pick, and 2029 second round pick. So, but I think
Just imagine how bad of a move this is going to be if Kyrie does not come.
Oh, he's
Because I mean, at this point, like the Mavs have to resign him. They have to.
I don't think he is. I think he's going to LA.
I went there with LA. They just gotta figure out how to clear a lot of cap space.
They'll figure it out.
I think they can. The Mavs, what would save them is if LA wins it all. Then maybe they might be like, hey, do we really need Kyrie? Do we really want to bring?
Gonna win.
But yeah, that would be the only. But yeah, no, that would be good. That would be interesting because I'm right there with you. Of like, they trade for him, but they didn't lock up the fact that they're gonna extend him or keep
Yeah,
him.
The fact that they didn't lock him up just makes me feel really strong that he's not coming back.
Yeah. And what's got to go back of your mind is, especially the stories are going to start, like, the stories, there was already one story, but you kind of know the stories might start coming out of, well, how long does Luka stay? Because, it's all good. This whole loyalty thing is cool. But after a while, if you don't win, the criticism will start coming for Luka Doncic.
I mean,
is he a winner? It's gonna start coming.
Yeah, I think we already know Luka's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
He beat the hell out of the Suns last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do, but if he does not win a ring, every star gets it sooner or later. If he doesn't, he's still kind of early, but 1 or 2 more years, he's not winning.
1 or 2 more years,
People are
he's
going
out-
to
he's
come
out of
and start
Dallas.
talking about the ring. Go.
255 okay, to like what LeBron 8 or 9 years, Jordan 8 or 9 years.
Mhm.
It's not just an instant process, no matter how good you are.
It's just how this current generation of sports media is. You have to win and win now.
No, it is. And well, actually, somebody brought up a good point, and they were talking about Jason Tatum last year of like how much he got criticized for the finals. But they brought up a point of, you do realize a lot of these guys, like barring Magic, who was part of a really like also one of the greatest teams ever.
Yeah.
Most of these guys don't ascend to like 26 or something when they're winning their final or being that guy. Like barring like Magic, Duncan, like most of these guys take a while, but we criticize them so early for like, oh man, you're 22 and you lost the final. It's like, yeah, it's really hard to win. And we're going to hit a couple more. Let's go ahead into the MVP debate. What were our thoughts? Who do you think?
Embiid has that all but wrapped up, I think, now.
I mean, it's
The
just
Nuggets fell off at the end of the season.
Yeah.
they only got one less win than the Sixers, so
Yeah, but
you can still see
Jokic
Jokic winning, but it's tough.
Embiid's finished the season really strong. From
I think Embiid's gonna win, but it's gonna be a tight race between them and Giannis.
I think Giannis was hurt by the fact he got hurt and his team didn't do that bad without him. Like they still won, like they still were winning team. Because I mean, all 3 of them, honestly, any 3 of them win it, I would be fine. And I would.
I said, if any of them 3, I'll be fine with. It's not like I'll be upset.
Yeah, I won't complain whatsoever.
But I think, where Embiid goes, and I heard some people talk about it who have votes and stuff. They were kind of talking about, well, if you take Embiid off the Sixers, are they that good? And it's like game. Giannis kind of had the unfortunate thing of he missed several games, but their team still was winning without him. And so it's kind of like some people kind of be like, well, we'll take.
I don't think the Sixers are a top 3 seed without him, but it's still a playoff team without him.
I think they're still pretty good too. All right,
You still got James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. You got players.
I mean, and he finished it, but yeah. Now I didn't agree with, like we talked about before. I didn't agree with all this hate because I will also back up again. Out of all the years he's won, I thought this would have been the year that would have had probably the best for Jokic. I thought there's more of an argument this year than some of his other years of him winning the MVP. That was just my view about it. But
that's the same thing with like Steve Nash, where like this season he didn't win where Dirk won it. You can argue it's better than his MVP seasons.
Now the question is, will people start criticizing Joel Embiid for his lack of playoff success if he wins the MVP?
Well, I mean, they need to.
yeah,
If he
They
wins
do.
MVP, yeah, because I mean, with the MVP,
Jokic has been farther than him, but he gets criticized more. He is a 2-time MVP, so yeah. If they don't make the conference final, Joel Embiid does need to start getting the same pressure that Jokic and others are getting.
Yeah. And I will also kind of argue with, this is my only thing with Embiid is a couple of those times, like, yeah, you can blame his team, but he also looked like he was tired or injured.
The Hawks series?
If I remember correctly, also had more turnovers and assists in the playoffs.
I mean, Embiid has not lived up to his play in the playoffs yet. And like I said, they should be in the Hawks. There's no excuse to losing to the Hawks in the playoffs.
Yeah, y'all hating on a 2-time scoring champ. 2 years in a row, baby. MVP.
Hey, he's a top 5 player. He just needs to play like that in the playoffs now.
Well, according to my
True.
bracket, they're going to the championship game.
I don't have that in my bracket.
Yeah, neither.
We'll get to that later.
All right. We can kind of get into that since Max kind of opened the door right there. All right. So what do we got? All right. So far, this is what we know. We are taping this before all the play-in games have happened yet. But we already know at least the Hawks will be playing the Celtics. We do not know who's playing the Bucks yet. But I kind of feel it does not matter. Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't.
None of us have them. Okay, so we can go real quick into some of these matchups. So I'm pretty sure everybody's got the Bucks. I think the interesting series from the East is going to be the Cavs versus the Knicks.
Yes, that is going to be because both teams, the Knicks are pretty good this year, but so are the Cavs. So it's going to suck 3-1 because whoever loses, you lose in the first round. It's
So
similar
funny.
to-
Julius Randle is just.
It's similar to the West where you have the Clippers versus Suns. Like somebody this season is going to be a complete failure because they got out in the first round, and it's going to be the Suns or Clippers.
And Jacob can't wait to feast on the loser of that one.
No, I would be. I'm pulling for the Suns because that'd be really funny if the Clippers lose.
With that one, like I know there was that Lakers Clippers game, and I think if the Lakers had beat the Clippers, they would have leapfrogged and they would have been the 5th seed.
Because the Lakers
Which-
are never beating the Clippers again. Never.
Yeah, but if I'm the Lakers, I kind of didn't want to be the 5th seed right off the bat. I would not
No,
want to play those cards. I might have taken my chances in the play-in game and been like, you know what, not trying to
A healthy,
have the
I say with a healthy KD. That I just don't.
Yeah, but how long?
It's a tough break.
You said how long, Hunter?
Yeah, how long?
KD gonna be healthy for?
Yeah, true. That's going to be a big
Well,
question.
you can say the same with Anthony Davis. How long is he going to be healthy for?
Yeah, but I mean,
No, he's good. I mean, if he gets hurt again, I swear to God.
Don't you mean win?
No, if.
What's going to help the Lakers a lot in their series is Steven Adams is out for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
that's
It's a big part of what they do.
The Lakers getting the Grizzlies was pretty nice. I like this match.
and Brandon
Yeah.
Clark.
The man averaged 5 offensive rebounds. And averaged 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, physical.
I'm still picking the Grizzlies to win, but
Nah.
I think Lakers
yeah.
take that. I think
You
Spears
got-
just hounds them down.
You gotta hope John Morant doesn't do anything stupid.
guys, you're forgetting that the Grizzlies have Dylan Brooks.
Dude, they do have Dylan Brooks. They
Oh yes, and
he
his
is a legend.
and his comments of sometimes, you know, guys, can I like say this of a lot of athletes? Like, I don't know if they just want to sound tough and all, but do you always have to call out some of the better players? Like, oh, I want them. Sometimes just shut your mouth, man.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Like, you don't have to call them. Like, be like, oh, I want them. Like, we've seen this in other sports where they've called out some of the better players and it backfired heavily. Like, you know,
Social
sometimes just
media
keep your
and
mouth
needing-
shut.
Social media needing to have like a reaction and everything has like ruined some trash
Oh, yeah.
sports.
Dylan Brooks is just trying really hard to be the next NBA villain.
just
He's
keep
trying
your
to
mouth
be- he's
shut.
trying
Just
to be like-
don't
he's
give him
trying
a
to be like
reason to
Pat
beat you.
Bev.
And how well has that worked out for Pat Bev?
Yeah.
Not
He
real.
thought he was
Like,
gonna get a title getting Kawhi and Paul George.
mm,
Now look at him. And where is it? Chicago right now?
yeah, he's too small. Even Austin Reeves is calling him out. Too small. He's too small.
I mean, what was this glow up for Austin Reeves out of nowhere?
Yeah,
Mhm.
ever since All Star break, that dude's been a stud.
Oh yeah, you stepped up. I would say with that 4-5 matchup, I think it's the Suns in.
Yeah.
I think Suns in 6.
Suns and 6, yeah.
Yeah, no healthy Paul George.
I think the Clippers because of coaching, and I feel the Suns might be off like the first game, just
Mhm.
everybody getting back. But that's going to be a pretty interesting one. Nuggets, whoever they play, I believe they beat everybody in
because
5.
because they could beat the Timberwolves, Thunder, or the
Mhm.
Pelicans.
Yeah.
yeah, shouldn't really have a sweat.
Yeah, especially with the Pelicans. I mean, no
Yeah,
Zion coming
yeah.
back, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It was inevitable. There's been some controversy, yeah, because doctors say that he's healthy enough to go, but he says him and his own team, kind of the whole like Kawhi Leonard situation, a little bit of the team, and now players are getting upset with him because he's not coming.
He's got to rest now so he can be in good shape to rest next year.
Exactly.
You gotta get ready for that next rest. You gotta be ready.
Mhm.
You never know when it's gonna happen, but you know it's likely.
You
to
never
happen.
know.
Well, speaking of rest, I forgot we forgot to hit it with the Dallas Mavericks of their whole tanking thing or whatever they.
Yeah.
They're gonna get in trouble for
God,
that
like
last game,
what?
dude. They're gonna get in
Like,
trouble.
after I thought about the conversation we had over this, I'm like, what the crap are you doing, man?
Yeah, well, I mean,
If they had played Luka the whole game, then maybe they could have got away with it. But playing them only a quarter, that just seems like they knew what they were doing.
I think it's been so obvious.
I mean, I don't blame
Yeah.
them for doing that because like they knew this team was going nowhere. But still,
You gotta try and give it, but it's like, yeah, man, you gotta do a little bit better at hiding it than this. But yeah, back to the playoffs. So I think the next matchup, which I think also kind of played to this team's favor, I think Golden State getting Sacramento.
that was very good by them.
It sucks for Sacramento, man, because
Yeah.
I have Golden State winning that one.
Yeah, well, because Golden State doesn't really. I mean, they suck on the road, but I mean, Sacramento's not far from where they're at. So
Oh yeah, it's not far, and Sacramento can't play defense to save their lives. I think.
but they
I
do
think
have the
also-
best offense in the NBA history.
Sure.
It's just because scoring in NBA this year is just so comically easy.
Yeah, it was a weird year. I don't know if it was because of injuries or what with load management, what happened. And I think the fact I think playoff experience, like I've said before, just it matters. Not having that, not really having those go to, and with Golden State getting Andrew Wiggins back, that
Wiggins
kind of is a
back,
nice
I
series.
could even see them winning the whole thing. I mean, one of these first surprising.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors won either. This might be the right series for them to get kind of back into mood. Get Andrew Wiggins healthy. That would be big.
If they win their first playoff series, they're gonna be pretty hot.
Yeah,
Who would they play after that? Would be the Nuggets.
they would play. No, they would play the winner of the Lakers Grizzlies. See, so it gets so like next round, West wise, it gets pretty interesting because most likely,
Yeah, because
from what I think, it's either probably Suns, Nuggets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, I was saying you're gonna have LeBron versus the Warriors, or you're gonna have the Grizzlies versus Warriors, and they hate each other.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can see ratings really spiking, especially from an NBA point. If you can get LeBron versus the Warriors, you build that whole storyline. Then you arguably have if KD's healthy and the Suns. Well, either you could from there you could get Nuggets versus Suns. I'm sorry, Nuggets. If the Nuggets win, then you have a rematch if the Lakers win, so you get that again. Or you could also get the Suns Warriors, which you'd have the KD stuff playing in and Chris Paul. And that year they would have all the storylines. Or you could get LeBron versus KD trying to get a title. Like the West can have some very
the West has,
interesting,
a lot of interesting stories. Not so much in the East.
very intrigued, especially once you get to second round. What all is going to be happening? I think we're going to, barring some crazy injuries, knock on wood. I feel I could see both of this from my predictions. I could see both of the second round games going 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
Now to the East, I think the big matchup, which I think the Bucks were why getting the number 1 seed was very important. I think, especially for the Bucks, was you only have to play either the Celtics or the Sixers. Not you have to play both of them, which I believe that's going to be a very interesting series. So
The East is top heavy. That's gonna. I think it's only 3 teams. So
Mhm.
of course the Bucks, Celtics, and Sixers.
Yeah, that's one of the
I
teams I could see
wouldn't
winning.
mind seeing the Bucks win it. I wouldn't mind seeing Giannis get a second.
I wouldn't mind any team in the East really.
I just feel Joel Embiid, it's going to be same story, difference chapter. That team's just going to flame out. Whether it's Joel, whether it's James Harden, something ain't happening in that Celtics series.
I have to lose the second round. I would lose the next round.
I wouldn't be upset if they prove me wrong, and
Yeah,
if they
I
want,
like
if they
Embiid.
pull, I'll be great. But I just don't think it's happening. Though, I mean, for all of them, it would be actually interesting for them winning because I think for Giannis wins again. Then you got the story of he's really now in that upper echelon of he has 2 MVPs, he has 2 titles, that's going to be in the upper echelon of players. Now we're really starting to probably get into that conversation of, well, where are you going to put Giannis all time? And he's going to be kind of in that. I'm not saying he's top 10, but if he wins again, he will be in that area of top 10. There will be that argument. Celtics win. I think it's just them back. Tatum has that redemption, and that would be the story.
Yeah, that's the story. Is the Tatum redemption arc.
And
Yeah,
if
he really screwed the pooch last year. The Boston really won last year.
Yeah,
If Tatum had
they were up
not played bad.
They should have easily closed it out.
in the game. I mean, Curry just went off. So I think it's where it's interesting for them is like, because I feel with the West, I feel a couple of those teams, like even if they lose, it's not going to kill their legacy. Like Curry, it's not going to kill his legacy. LeBron's not
Chris
gonna kill his
Paul.
legacy. Chris Paul's really the only one that his legacy's on the line of if he doesn't win. Even KD could just help us.
KD could hurt a little bit if they lose first round.
But-
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm like,
Who they play? They're playing Clippers, man. They ain't losing first round. If Paul George ain't playing, they
could still lose.
I mean, no, they would, unless barring them getting hurt, I will be shocked if they lose.
I mean, if Paul George is healthy, then fine.
But I think there's going to be some huge legacies that have of Jason Tatum redemption, and even the Sixers, because you have Joel Embiid. They win. Joel Embiid finally has the ring. James Harden playoff nightmares go away, and Doc Rivers and his playoff nightmares of like he can't win it without the Celtic big three. He can then kind of wash those away. So it can be some interesting. And I mean, in the end of the day,
he needs it bad to get. He has a stink on him right now. He needs to get it off.
Yeah,
But he can't lose another 3-1 lead.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Oh Lord. Oh no, I think we're in for a pretty good playoffs. And this is really where the NBA makes its money. And this is kind of not a bad situation if they can. I mean, the only thing that kills it is if a bunch of injuries happen. But for them, it's kind of like you got a lot of good storylines that you're going to have. And that's what the NBA needs.
This playoffs is shaping up to be really good.
I know it's still kind of early, but, well, you guys got any thoughts as big Charlotte Hornet fans?
No.
Man, they're going to suck. They're always going to suck.
Steve Clifford, yeah.
If Steve Clifford remains as coach, no, the season's lost already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how about the Hornets try this crazy concept of playing their young guys?
That's insane.
They only did it at the end of the
I know it's crazy.
They had to. They had no other choice. That's the only reason they played. I still don't know what to make of Book Night. I still don't.
I know because they don't fucking know playing.
Kai Jones, I have no idea.
Just another season. So, as we look on to the next rounds, we'll be kind of recapping, we're probably going to recap round by round once they're finished, recap what we thought, how we liked, any thoughts. Obviously, and then at the end of the year, we'll probably do a recap of the season as well as draft lottery will probably be up, and we might talk a little bit about the draft.
I will guarantee you the Hornets do not get Wembanyama. Yeah, I think he's going to the Spurs so they can give Popovich another stud. You know?
Are you accusing the NBA of rigging that lottery?
Absolutely. I don't think it's any coincidence the NBA own the Hornets and they get the first overall pick, even though the Bobcats have the worst season in NBA history.
Just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence.
Yeah, stuff happens, the luck, the odds, That's what we got for the NBA. We're going to be excited for these playoffs as they come. Hopefully, they're going to be some exciting, maybe some upsets. If you had to pick one team that you are pulling for, who would be the team that you think is going to win? Just we're 100% pulling.
The Bucks.
I would say the Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Lakers.
Bucks.
I think all out. I think the Celtics. Be it. Big Tatum. Really enjoy Tatum.
Yeah. Now, you want to talk about who we think's going to win?
Oh yeah.
I think the Bucks are going to win as long as they're healthy.
I think the Bucks or the Suns. Depends on KD.
I do.
Yeah.
Right now, I have a finals rematch Bucks Suns.
Ooh, that Bucks Suns, that would be really good. A lot of redemption, KD and the shot. Oh, that story will be really good.
Man, I mainly don't want the Suns to win because of Devin Booker.
Nah, see,
not a Booker fan.
It's worth sacrificing that to get Chris Paul one.
Yeah, Chris Paul. Also, I really do like Monty Williams,
Yeah.
As a
Yeah, he deserves it. He's been through a lot, dude.
yeah,
Poor
he's
dude.
been through a lot. He's really like from what I've heard, it's a really solid guy, really good guy.
Yeah.
You know, somewhat. Even when he lost to the Bucks, he went up to them like the next, like right after, congratulated them in the locker room, and you know, it just seems like a really good him and James Jones, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think the Suns might pull it out. Like healthy KD, I think the Suns pull this out.
Yeah, I mean, they have the best starting five. Their fourth best player is Chris Paul.
Yeah, and I think they could combat the Giannis train that they couldn't last time with throwing KD every down, throw KD, throw DeAndre. But
I don't think they ain't gonna stop.
I don't think they can stop it. I think they can slow it down, but they also have the KD.
Yeah, so they have KD, so that,
Throw right back of like he can almost do.
yeah. So I think like
points too.
KD and Giannis will offset each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it comes down to Booker, Paul.
And it comes down to how healthy is Middleton.
Yeah, that would be.
Well, then like Booker and Paul, but then you still got DeAndre Ayton as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I mean, Brook Lopez is having a beast season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got TJ Warren. They got TJ Warren.
Yeah.
But he ain't. I mean, he ain't.
But he's not gonna play a lot of minutes.
He ain't. He's not gonna be the bench.
Mm.
He'd be lucky if he gets playoff minutes at this point.
We'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of storylines. And I don't know. Maybe the Lakers will be magically healthy, and you know they'll make the run of the lifetime, and LeBron wins the fifth, and then get ready. Oh God, the only thing, like, I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind LeBron winning. The only part that's going to piss me off is how many times I'm going to have to hear Lord Jordan versus LeBron keep going. And it's like, okay, guys, like he hasn't retired. Can we wait till he retires to have this debate? But
No.
okay.
No.
Absolutely not.
Every playoff game, it will be a debate.
It would be Jordan versus
Let's just go ahead and start the debate now.
Yeah. You know, can we go ahead and just roll this into another podcast so we can spend 3 hours debating?
All right, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Please like, subscribe. We've had some huge hits on some of our previous videos. Like I always say, please comment. Let us know what you all want to hear us talk about. Thank you all. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, my name is Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
Simon J.
And Hunter.
And may the discussions begin.